Corley Moore coming at you. Wanted to talk very briefly before the scrap starts tonight. And if you know me, you know that I love the vigilantes. I love the like-minded souls, and I'm always looking for ways that we can have more interaction. One of the things that every vigilante says when they join is they're looking to connect with those like-minded souls. They're looking to connect with other vigilantes and people who feel the way they feel. And so I'm constantly looking for ways to make that happen. So far, I love Patreon. I love Patreon for bringing us together, but it hasn't created that the ability to share information and things the way I wanted. But one thing we did discover was that Discord is integrated into Patreon. So we've been working for the last couple weeks to launch a Discord server where the vigilantes can get together and hang out. Now, I'll be the first person to say I am not a tech guru. I'm much better at forcing doors and hook and sealing. I'm better at destroying stuff than I am at using technology. But that being said, Discord has so many options that look like they could be phenomenal for the vigilantes and for our growth and for the fellowship and the camaraderie that we want to share. It's got chat rooms that you can post in, separated by category, where we can have great discussions. It's got voice channels you can jump in and have voice discussions with people at the drop of a hat without needing to start a Zoom call or anything. You just drop in and drop out. You can share screens. We have plans. People have plans to share classes that they've built so they can get feedback before they go and teach those classes. I mean, there's so much that could be used for this Discord server, and we're just scratching the surface. So get in, come be a part of it, man. It looks to be an incredible platform, and if you want to be a part of it, head over to patreon.com/thevigilantes. Become a part, man. If you're not a vigilante, why not? $5 a month. You can't even afford a fancy coffee nowadays for $5. So $5 a month, you're a member of the like-minded souls. So come be a part. Looking forward to seeing and talking to you in the Discord. Stay safe.
Introducing the Affordable Bailout Prop, another innovative training solution by Affordable Drill Towers. The Affordable Bailout Prop is a durable and affordable training tool that allows firefighters to enhance their skills with real-world training in your parking lot or on your apparatus floor. Most fire departments only require annual PSS qualification, which isn't enough to develop muscle memory. When seconds count, you must be able to deploy your PSS and quickly escape by seating your hook in the sill or using a remote anchor point. With an overall height under 12 feet, a 5x7 footprint, and 12-inch heavy-duty swivel casters with double locks, the Affordable Bailout Prop can be easily moved between your parking lot and apparatus floor. Constructed of pressure-treated 4x4s, the window frame dimensions mimic the Denver drill window prop with a sill height of almost 8 feet, featuring a pressure-treated 2x12 sill. The rappel wall is made of 8 2x10s screwed into batten boards. All parts, including the windowsill and rappel wall, are designed to be easily replaceable if they become worn. A vertical ladder provides access to the deck, which is approximately 4 foot above ground level. In addition to window and ladder bailout drills, you can also train on removing victims through the window, whether handing the victim to another firefighter on the ladder or using the ladder as a high point. Don't stop with rescue drills. Consider advancing a hose line through the window and learn methods to overcome the challenges. Or hone the mechanics of VES, Vent Enter Search. The uses are endless and up to your imagination, creating an enormous value. With its inspiration coming from the events of FDNY's Black Sunday, Affordable Drill Towers donates 10% of all proceeds from the Affordable Bailout Prop to the Lieutenant Joseph P. DiBernardo Memorial Foundation. The Affordable Bailout Prop is available as a kit that you assemble, or fully assembled, where we train you how to assemble in the future. Elevate your training regimen with the Affordable Bailout Prop, setting a new standard in fire department training excellence. Reach us at 84455 Towers or info@affordabledrilltowers.com.
Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance. It is weekly scrap number 284. My guest tonight is Uncle Don himself, Don Sapp, an elder emeritus for the Georgia Smoke Diver Program, number 126, represent over 4 decades in the fire service down there in Georgia. He worked logistics for FDIC, the big show, for 17 years, 5 years as a fire instructor in his state. He's semi-retired in 2015, although if you know him, you know he does not quite know how to slow down. He's still actively involved with the Bears of the Oath, the Georgia Flames programs. He has the certs, he has the instruction credentials, and of course, the most important things, he's been married to Jenny for 26 years. They share 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and of course, 2 boxers. My brother, Don Sapp, welcome back to the scrap for number 284.
True. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. It's a pleasure to be back. It's an honor to be back.
No, absolutely. Anything I missed in the intro, or is there anything you'd like to add? Because there's so much, and it's hard to just melt it down to a couple sentences.
I'm good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, no.
I love it. Get your questions, audience. Get them ready. Don is here, and he's ready to field your questions. I'm going to read a few of the things people said already. The front row checking in, grabbing their seats. No doubt about it. Don Sapp is one of the most genuine human beings I have ever had the honor of knowing. That comes from Lee Humphreys, Humpman, bringing it. Mark Alone checking in said, glad my Facebook feed reminded me for this one. There is no finer human being than Don. So, dude, right there, two solid brothers singing your praises right out the gate. So they're setting the bar a little bit high for you is all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, they're jaded sometimes.
Right on. Okay. With all that being said, I'm going to get to the beautiful sponsors, and then we will get to scrapping.
Okay.
Affordable Drill Towers, on a mission to bring you cost-effective and versatile training props like the Affordable Bailout Prop, which allows you to practice window bailouts, ladder bailouts, and ladder high-point rescues. They also make the Affordable Standpipe Prop, which you can roll into the classroom for standpipe theory and then roll it into the parking lot and pump realistic flows and pressures. Of course, their mainstay is the Affordable Drill Tower. It comes in several configurations and standard with a standpipe system. You can choose from 1 or 2 sets of stairs. You can integrate it into your existing Connect boxes for multi-story access or freestanding on a slab. All models NFPA compliant and gain you ISO credit. The only thing that you can't do on an Affordable Drill Tower is live fire training. Call Steve, 844-55-TOWER, or drop an email to info@affordabledrilltowers.com. When it comes to performance under pressure, you need equipment that won't let you down. That's where American-made Snap-Tight comes in. Built tough for firefighters, Snap-Tight hose is engineered to perform under pressure. Plus, Snap-Tight hoses are easy to deploy and even easier to rely on with unmatched heat resistance to abrasion and extreme temperatures. Here's the best part. They offer guaranteed shipping and 4-week lead times. Visit snaptighthose.com to learn more or find a distributor near you. Snap-Tight Hose, reliable, durable, ready when you are. FirestationFurniture.com provides a complete line of quality furniture for your firehouse. Firefighter owned and operated, they understand the strain firefighters put on furniture, and they offer furniture that's built to last. Visit www.firestationfurniture.com for more information. And last but not least, the big show, FDIC International. It's where the fire and rescue service come together. Be there April 7th through the 12th this year at the Indiana Convention Center to learn from the best, see the most innovative products and services from leading companies, and recharge your passion for the industry. That's FDIC this year. I will be there. I hope to see you there. And with that being said, the sponsors are done and we are ready to get to scrapping.
Cool.
My man, I want to start off by talking about you experienced something that I hope no firefighters, I hope honestly no one ever has to experience, but you went through what you've responded to so many times in your, over 4 decades of fire service. You responded, I don't even want to put a number on house fires, but you experienced a house fire yourself. And I want you to just kind of talk to me about that to lead off and where we're at now, a few years later.
Yeah. May 18th. 2022, I was up in Douglasville, Georgia, with Massey, getting ready to teach a class. Get a call from a friend of mine that works dispatch in Monroe County, asked me what my address was. I told him. He said, well, stand by. He said, we just got dispatched to your house. I think your house is on fire. Well, in the process, Jenny had called me, and she had seen on the Ring camera the soffit on the front of the porch had caved in, and the whole front porch had caved in. So guy came back and said he let me listen to radio traffic. They got on scene. It was heavy smoke involved, flames showing, and it was, by the time it was all over and done with, it was a total loss. Like I said, I was in Douglasville getting her teacher class with Shane and a bunch of other guys from Bears of the Oath and Jason Painter and a bunch of others. And I said, hey, of course, you know how firemen are. I said, hey, my house is on fire. Oh, yeah, right. And I said, no, my house is on fire. I said, I got to go. I hadn't been there 2 hours. So I said, I'll see you. I'll be back. And Shane said, really? Come on. I said, no, really, I'm gone. And I understand after I left, he just physically went around the side of the building and got sick. He just couldn't stand it.
No, I bet. Yeah.
So anyway, got the call. And of course, 9 million things run through your head on the way home. Of course, people wanted you to drive slow. Shane offered to take me home. I said, no, I'm good. I said, hey, it's already happened. I said, there's nothing I can do. I said, it's done. I just have to go and see what the damage is. And got home, total loss. And was saying that, lead into what you were talking about. I can't even put a number on the house fires that I've gone to, but you go start to finish, you get the call, you get on the truck, you go answer fire calls, you put the fire out, and you have a certain sequence that you do in all your career, but you never plan on it being your house. It is totally different when it's your house. The whole gamut, A to Z. I was the fireman, I was the homeowner, and then I was the person that their house burned down. And then I'm the person that has to recoup and get my house back in shape. So it's not fun being the guy that has to replace everything in the house and rebuild your house.
Was there anything going through it all, which, like I said, I hope no one ever has to, but is there anything that changed? Like you said, man, I wish I never understood this until now, just a new perspective from it.
Yes, absolutely. In without being prideful, I always prided myself in trying to treat people that were at a disadvantage of having a house fire. Like, you understand, I get it. And I did. I got it to a point. I thought I got it.
Right.
Until yours burns down. And then when yours burns down, it's like, wow, I'm glad I was always that guy that took the extra minute to say, I'm truly sorry. I'm so sorry. When I was a lieutenant in Henry County, if we'd have that, I had a business card, and I'd give them the business card. I said, if you need anything, you give me a call. I'll be glad to make it happen. So you never want to be, as a fireman, you never want to be on the receiving end of your house burning down. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But it made me realize that it can happen to us too, just like it happens to everybody else. I told somebody, because they told me, they said, man, Don, that just happens to others. That happens to other people. I said, but you know something? I said, to other people, I'm other people. I'm the other guy.
Oh, yeah.
I said, to other people. So, the thing about it, though, and the peace that came with it, and if you're a believer in Christ, you'll understand this. Other than the drive home and the first 20 or 30 minutes in the motel after all the stuff was over and done with, I had peace. I had complete understanding, complete peace. We never worried about it. And from that point on till now, it's just been events, and it's not been stressful. I know it's hard to understand, but
no, I get it. No, I love it.
It's not been stressful.
Mark Alone has a question, and it's on topic, so I want to get it to you. He said, seeing it from the other side, do you think differently about the way we cut up after a good job or take pictures after a job, or are you so overwhelmed you don't even notice?
I think the homeowner is would probably be a little bit more agitated with it because they just lost everything.
Sure.
I think that and cutting up, that's what we do,
No doubt about it.
and it's where we do it and how we do it. Mike has a perfect good question. We probably could do it, but we probably could do it inside, and joke around because you try to take the homeowner's feelings into account. Sometimes most of the time we don't. I'm not going to say sometimes. Most of the time we don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to being at the fire station and playing grab ass that we do it out on the scene and we forget.
Oh, without a doubt.
And we forget. And then you look over and you see the homeowner and, I'm more mindful on the way that I do things now around people than I used to be.
And it even applies, even a bad EMS call with doing CPR and a family member standing around. To us, it's just another CPR. We're beating on another chest.
Right.
That doesn't mean that we don't give it our all but you forget that it's not, how serious it is. It's a callousness / complacency mixture that. Yeah.
If I could tell him his question, just because he's already now, I've already put it, or we've already put it in his mind. Just be mindful of how you grab. I mean, you can play, you can goof around, but it's where you do it. Don't do it outside in front of the homeowner. The homeowner's already agitated. They're already, and not even agitated. They're already at a loss because they've lost everything.
Overwhelmed, stressed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No. Jenny, give us an update on how things are going because you got a perspective.
Same thing, same year, 2022, February. Her birthday was on the 1st, February 2nd. We're on our way to a friend of mine's house to have supper. We get a call from the cancer doctor, and it's never good when he says, "Are you driving? If you are, pull over." So we pulled over, and he told Jenny that she had breast cancer and what it was, and made her promise that she wouldn't get on Dr. Google and look at anything until she talked to him. And he said, "Don't go to Dr. Google. Don't do anything. I'm telling you, here it is. But I've seen a lot of this, and we'll take care of it."
Good.
And he did. We went through the treatment. As a caregiver, I went through the treatment.
Right.
And she has done fantastic. There again, she had a situation where she was really upset, really just really agitated and just really unsure of what was going on. She had talked to a friend that we go to church with, a lady that had told her, "Please tell me you're not considering a double mastectomy." And Jenny said, "Well, no, I'm not. Why?" And the lady told her. And so she came back into me in my office and she told me about it. So-and-so's got me all upset. Well, we stopped right there and we prayed about it. And with us praying about it, it was over and done with. I said, "Now go back and find out why she's telling you that, because there's a reason." And she did. She came back and told me, "Well, this lady had the same thing I had, except she didn't do the treatment that the doctor told her to do. She didn't do the radiation. She did the radiation. She didn't do the chemo. So she thought she knew more than the doctor did, and she did only the radiation and not chemo. Well, she did radiation so much that they couldn't do anything with her body. Nothing. It was, she had a bad feeling about it and a bad experience. And I told Jenny, I said, "We prayed about it." I said, "It's going to be fine." And it was. Everything went just like the doctor said it was going to go.
Good.
Going to do. And she is actually good. This February, actually coming up, her birthday is February 1st. So she's coming up on her birthday, February 2nd, will be 3 years. Still has beautiful hair, still has beautiful eyes. Everything's good. Cancer-free for 3 years. And they say with the Herceptin 2, the kind that she had, you make it 5 years, there's a 97% success ratio.
Oh, excellent.
And she's 3 years in.
Right on, brother. Right on.
So, but that again, February 2nd to May 18th, that was an eventful year.
No doubt about it, brother. An overwhelming year, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, and the brotherhood, all that went on with that.
Wow. Just from the people that I knew, We lost, like I said, I'll keep saying we lost everything. And me, I like to save T-shirts. I saved T-shirts. I had them upstairs in the attic, and I would change them out every year.
Right.
We'd have a tote and we'd change them out. Well, I lost hundreds and hundreds of T-shirts. All I did was put out there, I need some T-shirts because I got to replenish the ones I lost. And I got 3 times that.
Wow.
in the mail from people that I didn't know, people that I did know. But the brotherhood, the things that people would do just because was phenomenal. We have, Jenny and I had it where we called it God winks. Something would be done. We would just have, well, for example, I had 2 friends of mine come up from Panama City Beach, and I had to have insulation for my house. And, I kidded my contractor about having buddies. Buddies was the buzzword that he always made fun of me about. Was your buddies, can they do this? Can your buddies do that? I said, I've got buddies that can do everything. And so one day we were talking, he said, we need to talk about insulation. I said, well, it's funny you should say that. I said, because I've got 2 buddies. He said, you got buddies? I said, yeah, I've got buddies. I said, I've got 2 buddies that have volunteered to come up and spray foam my house for me. He said, spray foam? I said, absolutely, spray foam. That's what they said. He said, do you know how much that costs for this house? Do you know how much it's going to cost? I said, no. He said, probably 25, 30 grand. And I said, well, all I can do is put you in touch with the guy. And both of them are flames and, smoke divers and flames. So there's the brotherhood.
The connection, yeah.
There's a connection. So anyway, his name's JJ Roberts. He called me up and he said, hey, man, I'm serious. He said, my boss said he'd be glad to do it. All you need to do is send me your house plans. So I sent them to him. I put him in touch with Craig, my liaison or my builder, and they talked it out. When they came up to do it, he said, Don, I'm going to tell you, I thought you were pulling my leg. He said, but damn, you've got some buddies. He came and sprayed it for nothing. They did it for me for nothing.
Wow.
So, and I've got 100 other stories like that people just stepped up. I had Humpy and came down from where he was and just brought us a whole satchel full of stuff that we use, daily stuff that we used in the camper, No,
and I'm saying, and I know that you're saying that, the brotherhood is strong and everything like that, but there is another element to this, and you and Jenny have impacted a lot of lives. So to see that reciprocated really is a part of the story too.
It is. And you never, we're the type of people that, and Jenny will tell you, we like doing. It's hard when you're a doer, it's hard to receive.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is hard to receive. And for us, of course, people that know me know I'm an emotional kind of guy a lot of times. And I had a guy came by, and there again, I'm not bragging. I'm just bragging on them and the kind of friends that I have. I have a friend of mine that I came on to Macon Fire Department with. And they came by and they looked at the house, did a walkthrough. Actually, we were on truck 31 together for probably 15 years. And he came in, looked at the house, we walked through, and he handed me something. And I put it in my pocket and went about doing what I was doing because I was tearing out my fireplace because we were getting ready to put another fireplace in. So I got in the house. She said, Jenny asked me, well, what did Donnie want? I said, oh, hold on just a minute. I reached in my pocket. He had given me $1,000 out of his pocket. Just boo-hoo, cried right there. I mean, there's no shame. I'm telling you, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all. They just, the number of tears that we cried and the number of things that we did that whole time, the brotherhood's strong. I mean, I hope nobody ever has to experience that.
Right.
But if you do, and you've set the and not that you do it because I'm a people person. Jenny's a people person, but we've set the foundation for being people, and we just love people, and it was reciprocated in, well, let's see how we can help them.
It's awesome. No, it's an amazing story. Which you brought up flames and smoke divers, so I want to talk to you about that briefly. We'll get into some of the training type stuff, and I'll get to little things and get to. But I want to talk to you about the smoke diver programs because a lot of people are curious about it. They wonder if they have what it takes to do, the GSD, the Oklahoma, Indiana, Florida, insert whichever program. But tell me something that people just don't understand until they go through it. Like what? Give me some insight.
Wow. Being out there and hearing people talk about smoke divers, if you don't know really what it is, it's almost like the feeling I've gotten is that people think it's just a macho type thing.
Sure.
And I challenge them. I say, it's really not. It's just another training class, but it requires a little bit more from you than just going and crawling on a floor of a building and putting a fire out. I said, it requires a lot more. And if you come and you put your feet on that line and just to see what it is, it'll change your whole perspective. It's different. It's once you're in, or even if you say it starts on Sunday and you go until Wednesday, you're going to take so much back home with you that the preconceived notions that you had before, you're not going to have those again. Because there's not that machoism and there's not that egotistical people. It's not there. They're not there. Now, it may seem that they're like that. And I'm not saying there's not those kind of people out there because I'm sure there are.
Sure.
For the most part.
But that's not what it's about.
But that's not what it's about.
Right.
It's about true life training. It is about phenomenal, fantastic training. It's realistic training. I mean, you get the most realistic training that I think you're going to get in the state of Georgia with the Georgia Smoke Diver program.
That's awesome. And you're going to find out how mentally tough you are.
And you get to, on your scale of 1 to whatever, you get to find out where you really are. Rhodey had a guy that only made it till Tuesday. And he had read a letter to me that the guy wrote him. And in a nutshell, the guy told him, said, look, I didn't make it all the way through. I'm a company officer. I made it till Tuesday, but I made it through your drown proofing firefighter. And he said, I want to tell you, if I hadn't had that class, I don't know what I would have done because I came back to my department. We had a fire. I was doing my 360 and I stepped off into a swimming pool and I fell in the swimming pool and I knew what to do. Even though I didn't pass the Georgia Smoke Diver program, I took some key elements back to my department with me. And he said, that saved my life.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So let's talk about the power of little things. We talked about it on the phone the other day, but this has become a kind of a motto of yours here, and I want to talk about it.
It is. The small things, and we'll go back to smoke divers and we'll go back to flames because one of the first things they talk about is attention to detail. And attention to detail are the small things. Do the small things. When I was at the fire academy and I would talk about the big picture, the big major catastrophe that happens, you see, 2 firemen killed in a building. But there were 37 little things that led up to that. The news media only focuses on what was the big picture, the firemen dying. Eventually, if they do their homework, they'll find out that there were 10 or 12 or 15 little things that we didn't do. But it's the small things that people pay attention to. And we found out about it when we were building the house. We've got a completely redone house on the inside. And we've got some really nice things that when you walk in, you look at and you see. We have a coffee bar that is phenomenal. But the little things around it, the molding, the door handles, the little things that people don't look at until you bring it to their attention. Those are the little things that make the big thing look good. It's the little things. It's the little things that you do every day. It's the holding of a door for a lady that's got her hands full with her kids. It's the pushing a buggy cart in from Walmart in and putting it back in there so the guy doesn't have to carry one extra buggy. It's the small things, that's important. The molding around my big window in my living room. It's the window looks great, but if it didn't have that little bit of molding that makes it, the little things that make it look good, that's what makes it look good.
Right on.
It's the small things. I'm just trying to think of some examples. My granddaughter one day came home. You think kids, we were talking about grandkids earlier. They pay attention. Wait till they get older and they pay attention. She came home and said, Gigi, she said, Papa paid for a lady's gas today. But it wasn't a big deal to me. But it was a small thing that Libby went home and told Jenny about.
Right on. And it had a huge impact on her, obviously.
Yeah. And those are the kind of little things. She said she held a door for somebody for them to come in to the store. They looking. They pay attention.
Oh yeah, they're always absorbing. And your actions speak volumes to them. The little things. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the little things. And I'll go back to my daughter. I've got a daughter that's so she's 37.
Okay.
And she told me one day, she said, Dad, out of all the things that we did, she said, what was the most important to me? I said, what? She said, you remember the night we went out and laid in the field and looked at the stars on our back? I said, yeah. She said, that was the best thing ever. It's the little things,
Yeah.
We want these big things, but sometimes the big things aren't that important.
No, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. It was just on the scrap last week. Frank Viscusa was talking about taking his son, and his son's favorite vacation. His favorite memory was going to Amish country and just being quiet and driving through Amish country. He says, really, over Disney World and all these other things. He's like, that was his favorite. The little things, small things.
It's the small things, and if you do it enough, you don't even realize you're doing it. That's the joy in it, is that you do something, you pay for this, you do that. I can be out with Jenny and I get a look on my face and she'll say, what? I said, we're supposed to pay for that guy's food. You better do it. So it's the small things,
I love it. Lee Humphrey's got a question coming at you. He says, Don, speak to the people about true servant leadership. Servant leadership.
Starts off with the word servant. In our profession, that's all we are. We're servants. Some people look at it like, well, they owe me, the fireman, because I'm coming to help them. No, we owe them because we're their servant and they're paying our salaries. And that's not the reason I did it, but that's the reason some people do it. But if you're a true servant, you're willing to do whatever it takes. That's part of the axioms of leadership. Motto is whatever it takes. You're willing to do whatever it takes to be a servant. We're a servant. I don't care. We're a servant. And until you get that into your mind and into your brain, we're there. They called us at the worst time in their life, and we're there to serve. Whatever it takes to serve, we're going to serve. And that's, for me, people that know me, I don't mind serving. I'll be the first to say, hey, what can I do? How can I help? That's what a servant does. That's the first question that he asks. Not, off the wall question, but how can I help? What can I do to help you? I'll be glad to help you. I got a buddy of mine that I call every now and then, and he doesn't say, how can I help you? He'll say, how can I pray for you today? He won't even answer the phone. Hi, Don, how you doing? It's, hey, Don, how can I pray for you today?
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe you just need to find somebody and, lift them up and pray for them and just be a servant. There's nothing wrong with being a servant. That's why we're there. We're servants. I hope that answers his question.
No. I think you encapsulated it well. And the best and the thing about it you have to understand is, again, the reason you had such an outpouring, and the brotherhood is awesome. Do not get me wrong.
It
But
is.
the reason you had such an outpouring of support, I think, is because you do live what you're talking about. You live it.
Right.
And that's, the reason people are saying that, Michael Lataki chiming in here, he said, Uncle Don is on my Mount Rushmore. And that's a huge compliment. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That is, man.
Those are great people out there, by the way. They are awesome.
Absolutely. I get to do this.
Yes.
This is another one of your mantras that you have. I don't know, how long has it been? How long has this been your mindset? Is this a new revelation or something you've been?
No, back when I was with Macon Bibb, I was with Macon Bibb County for almost 26 years. I had a guy, I'm not going to mention any names, but I had that one guy that we called him Eeyore.
Okay.
Oh, well, everybody hates me. Nobody loves me. But I told him, I said, dude, we get to do this. We get to do this. If you don't want to do it, you can go home. We get to do this. I get to come in and choose what I do today. We get to help people. We get to, now, does every day go good? Absolutely not. Some days you have crappy days. But in the fire service, the motto, I get to do this, is not I have to. I don't have to do it. I can go home, but I get to do it. I get to go and help this guy get his car towed or whatever, whatever it is. I get to do it. That's a good mindset to have. If you look at it like I have to do it, that's going to determine your mindset for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. If you look at it like, man, look at me, I get to do this. We get to do things in the fire service that, and you as well as a chief, you get to do things that the general public will never, ever get to do. Never.
No.
You won't ever get to go and work behind stage for things, or there's benefits for good and bad in the fire service, but I get to go fight this fire. Do we want to? No. At 3:00 in the morning when it's minus 10 degrees? No, we don't want to do that. But I get to, because we get to help somebody. We get to be part of that servant leadership. We get to go back to being a servant, and you want them to talk good about you. You want to say, man, these guys were awesome. They came in and they did it, and they had a good outlook, and I heard one guy talking about, we get to do this. This is awesome. Not everybody thinks like I do. I promise you.
No doubt about it, brother. I got some questions coming at you from the audience. Mark Alone checking in again. He says, do you think as a profession, we have lost the value of the little things, the small things, by being focused on too many things?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have. I think if we take the time, everybody from the firefighter down all the way to the deputy chief or to the chief of the department, we all have things that we have to get done in the day. But take the time to prioritize. Take the time to say, okay, today I get to do this, and this. We get so wrapped up in the 97 things we have to do today that we're pissed off when we don't get them done, and we only got 5 things done. But those are 5 quality things we got done. Yeah. I tell Jenny all the time, she works for the district attorney's office here in Monroe County. And, there's always going to be criminals, and there's always going to be paperwork and things that need to be done. But I told her, I said, Jenny, you got 8 hours. At the end of that 8 hours, you come home, and guess what? We'll spend our time together. We'll do what we do. And you go back tomorrow and you start over. And it's the same way with the fire service. I think we have lost touch with the small things. We want to rush and get them all done. And we only give a part of ourselves to 97 things as to where we prioritize, and we give all of ourselves to 5 things.
Right.
And those 5 things are genuine, are quality. It's all about quality, not quantity.
I do love it. Great question from Mark. Great answer, Don. Cody Brooks, I like this one. This is a very broad one. You can go any direction you want with this one. He says, what is the best piece of advice you have ever received or given?
Okay.
No easy questions.
I had back in the day when I wanted to be in the know of everything. You know, I wanted to know every. I was that guy. I'd set a fire over here and I'd run over here and set a fire and watch it burn to the center. You know, and I was that guy. I just wanted to know everything. And when I got promoted in Macon, I had a captain that told me, said, "Hey, I realize that you want to be in the know, that you want to know what's going on, what's happening." He said, this guy was a great captain. He said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "I'm going to tell you this straight up. The least you know, the better off you are. So when they come to you and ask you, did you know such and such? You can say, no, I didn't." And that still sticks with me because I wanted to be in everybody's business, you know, and that really brought it to light for me. And it's played well for me because I have I don't care attitude, but it's not a snotty, arrogant I don't care. It's just I don't care. You know, I can't, it doesn't affect me. I can't worry about that.
Just more of a perspective of what matters and what doesn't, and
Yeah.
focusing your energy.
Right. And yeah, generate your energies in different things, generate your energies to your family, generate your energies to other people. Find that one person that you want to mentor, direct your energies there. But I didn't have to know everything. And he brought that to light. And it's still, to this day, it serves me well. When I hear something, sometimes I just turn around and walk away. Because if you don't know, you don't know.
And you're not just talking plausible deniability, although that is part of it. The ability.
Yeah, but if you walk away and say, "Well, I heard that. Hey, I'll see you guys later. I'll catch up with you later," and then they'll come back and say, "Hey, did you hear him?" I didn't hear.
And also, a side benefit is you really stop contributing to the rumor mill at that point.
You do. And I'm telling you, I'll be the first to tell you, and people that knew me, how do I say this, pre-Jesus and post-Jesus, I was that guy. I wanted to know everything there was about you so I could just tear you up. Now, in a godly way, I don't have time to care about that. I have time to care about your salvation, but I don't have time to care about your junk.
Fair. No, I love it.
Fair enough?
Mark Alone said, "Yes, always wanted to know. And now that I get to know, I want to know less." Then he laughed.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, pulling up the notes here, pulling them back up. You are heavily involved in training, specifically 17 years of logistics at FDIC, making sure that stuff got where it needed to get. 5 years at your own fire training academy there in Georgia.
Right.
From the logistics point of view and and you're still heavily involved. You're getting ready to go teach coming up soon, I believe.
I am.
Talk to me about those challenges. What do people not think about when they are planning training, specifically live fire or just heavy logistically involved training, hands-on?
Hands-on training. Typically, the people that you deal with, something came to mind. Typically, the things you deal with at logistics, you're dealing with people that pretty much know what they want to teach, and you don't have as much to. Now, I don't want to say they're bothersome, but they're forgetful sometimes, and they forget they need a list of things, and you get it out to them. But as far as what they do to teach, everything they teach is great. I mean, the teaching is wonderful. I have seen in smaller departments, people forget, if you're going to have, say, we're going to have 80 people, they forget porta potties. I mean, that sounds crazy, but it's there you go. Again, it's
Small things.
It's the little things, it's the little things that people forget about, that when you forget about it, you go, well, damn, really, that was a big thing.
That was a big thing. Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
So, but it is. And if you train yourself, not that you're going to do it, but if you don't take action to start thinking about the little things and dude, I got notes all over this desk because I'm not as good as I used to be. and I write things down, and then I prioritize them. The little things. This last time, I just did a confined space standby at Plant Vogel here, I don't know, about a month and a half ago. Well, that buddy of mine I told you that gave me that $1,000, we were working together, and we were on our way home. Well, we saw a plume of fire over to the right, so we go over there, and this house is rocking. We get to fight a house fire with a water hose.
Oh, wow.
Until we took the water hose from the guy, and the buddy of mine he was a chief, so he did the walk around. I was the lieutenant or the firefighter. I took the line and got in as much as I could. We saved the house, but when the department that responded got there, to be nice, I'd have to say I was embarrassed.
Oh.
I asked the guy, I said, "Are you planning on pulling that ceiling right there?" "Yes, sir." "Where's your pipe pole?" I'll be right back." So we had to run back to the truck, get a pipe pole. Then I said, "Well, you plan on cutting anything, a hole in the roof or anything?" "Yeah." "Where's your axe?" I'll be back." "I'll be right back. I'm coming back." It's the little things, you know. That's what they forget, the little things. I guess if I answer that question, they forget the little things. You know, you forget the little things, and then eventually, like we just said, the little things add up, and they're big things. But
No doubt about it.
But you know something? Once you forget that little thing, the next time you train, you're not going to forget it again, because it's going to be on the top of your list.
No, it only takes once, at least if you have the ability to learn.
That's it.
And if not, you're not going to be very successful.
True. Very true.
Hart Sanders coming at you says, why has the fire service become so risk averse? We have a job to do. This job is dangerous, and the public has an expectation. But where do we draw the line from risk aversion and public expectation?
Wow. I think that the fire service, and it may be something that we've done to ourselves. We've always done more with less, and the public expects us to do more with less. And then when we can't do it, they don't understand.
Right.
We just can't do that. And then they get upset, they get mad. The risks that are involved, you know, California is going through that right now. You know, there's a lot of risks that people don't realize. And at the time that we're doing whatever job we're on, we don't have the time to stop and tell them, you know, hey, there's a great risk right now. They don't want to hear that. They just want results, you know, and they just want.
Yeah.
And I think, just in a nutshell, that we've always done more with less, and eventually a department or someone gets to a point where more with less runs out. You can't sustain that a long time. You know, you try,
right,
but the sustainability is not there. You can't do it. And then the first time that you don't do it, you're a piece of crap, and that department let me down. You know?
No, it's a beautiful answer. That's a beautiful answer. Yeah. No, without a doubt. That's it. He said, it's not Hart, it's Scott, her dad. For some reason, she hacked my account. But now, like Mark Malone said, you now have a new nickname, brother. So, no, great question from you, Scott. Thank you for that question. And it is a great topic to discuss, is how did we get here? You know, why did we become so risk averse? Yeah. And when that day comes, when the reckoning does come, everybody's like, well, wait a second. You've always been able to. What's going on?
Well, they don't understand that budgets and money, and actually even resources, you know, I can speak for Macon, because I know everybody's always hiring. You know, we don't have the firemen, we don't have the people that want to be firemen anymore like they used to want to be. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you know, most departments are down, say 10%, 15%, 20%. And we don't have the resource to put, you know, that's why we run vehicles and trucks with only 2 people.
Yeah.
As where when I came on in Macon, we'd run our ladder truck with 5 people every day that we were on. I go to Henry County, and we're running it, me and the driver, and maybe somebody riding the back, maybe.
Oof.
Yeah.
No, and it's real. It is real. coming to you. I want to talk to you about relationships, and honestly, that's kind of what we've been talking about since the beginning.
Yeah.
With some deviations into some tactical stuff,
I'm,
but really,
Jenny told me not to ramble, but I can't do that. That's just part of me.
no doubt about it. But
I'm
the power of your relationships through your 40 years in the fire service, and then retiring or semi-retiring, and the relationships you still have, the people that have logged in here tonight and said those kind words about you, and the kind words you said about them. How important are relationships?
Well, I will tell you this, and there again, I'll go back to the pre-Jesus and post-Jesus. Pre-Jesus, there wasn't a soul on that list right there that knew me or would even want to have been a part of me before I was saved. I was despicable. And I'll tell you, I was absolutely despicable. The things that I did, the things that I would have done are, you don't even want to talk about it. But now there's value in people. There's value. Never pass up an opportunity. I heard that guy say this, never pass up an opportunity just to shoot a smile at somebody one time. You never know what that's going to do for somebody. Or, hey, bud, what's up? How you doing? Have a great day. Relationships are very important. All these guys, and, I love every one of them. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I love every one of them. And when I tell them I love them, they know it's genuine. Before, I wouldn't have done that. What? No.
Right.
What? But no, I do. They know I love them, and I'll every now and then I'll test them. But for me and for Jenny, because she's the same as I am. She likes relationships as well, and she's formed some really good relationships. We're just people, and we just want relationships. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to talk to somebody just because I'm in a hurry.
It's awesome, man. I love it. I'm sitting here getting distracted by everybody saying how Josh Peak said, whatever training Don is at, he pours his heart and soul into it. He is a source of encouragement to those who are struggling. He was my source during Flames, and I try to pass that on with each class.
Tell him I remember that night. I remember that day because he was on his last thread, and I got to talk to him. And, you talk about, we'll go back to smoke divers. At one time, smoke divers have what they call a Mo squad, a motivational squad. If you were struggling somewhere on the PT course or on the obstacle course somewhere, we had a group of, 5 people or so that would, hey, we need so-and-so over to help. Well, I got to be a part of that. And that, for me, that was a big deal because that's what I want to do. I want to be that motivation. Sometimes I'm not a good motivator. Sometimes I'm not feeling it. But for the most part, and I tell you what comes to mind right now, and, you do so much in the fire service, just like you and all these other guys, you think about things that come up when you talk about it. One of the guys that came and sprayed my house, he was struggling on the equipment hoist one day, and they called for me to come up, and I had to recite the creed to him in his ear while he was doing it, and he passed.
Nice.
See, those are the little things that we do that we get to do.
Get to do it.
We get to do it. I could have said, man, I'm doing this right here. I don't want to go up there and do that. But I got to do that. So look what it did for me all these 20 years later.
No doubt about it. No doubt. I love it. I love it, bro.
Relationships.
Which takes me to one of my favorite questions I ask. Books. I like to ask about books. I don't know how much of a reader, if you're a reader at all, but I like to ask, is there a book or books that you think firefighters should be reading? Doesn't have to be firefighter books.
Yeah.
What books do you think they should read?
Right now, I have a friend of mine, Jay Hurley, that and we'll talk about him a little bit later as well.
Okay.
I think I don't read fire books as much as I used to from, the ones that just came out because it's really not applicable to me in what I'm doing. But he recommended a book called Legacy. And with
James Kerr?
James Kerr. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm only about halfway through it.
Phenomenal book.
And yes, it is. And some of the quotes in it, I I was going through it before I got on, and it's just right here. It says, never be too big to do the small things that need to be done. That's in the book.
Yeah.
The
Right in what you said tonight.
Right into what we're saying, the small things. If you take the time to do the small things, they're going to pay off eventually.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
No,
I think chapter 1 of
that's
that.
the only one I'm doing right now. There again, and since our last time, I've reread The Energy Bus twice already again.
Nice.
That for me speaks volumes. I love that book. And actually I listened to it one time and read it one time. So this is probably the 6th time.
Energy Bus and Legacy.
Yes.
Hard to knock. Is that Gordon? Is that Gordon, the Energy Bus?
Yes.
Yeah. Gordon and James Kerr. Excellent. So that takes us to the 5 questions for firefighters. I'm excited to throw these at you. These are all new. They've only been answered like 5 times. So you're like number 5.
When I read them, I said, oh, wow, he's changed them.
Oh, yeah. They're new. Brand new for you. So are you ready for the 5 questions for firefighters version 4.0?
Okay. Yeah. Try.
All right.
If not, I'll get Jenny to come here and answer them.
You're the probie once more. You got to think back. You are the probie once more, but you have to cook the fire station meal at the firehouse. What is your go-to meal?
Dude, you can ask those people online that have eaten before where I've cooked. The ones that I got to cook for, chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Little story behind that. People say, how do you remember Don Sapp? When I was with Henry County, and a chief out of nowhere said, he can make some damn good chicken wings. Chicken wings and bagels. They laughed at me about the bagels, but chicken wings and bagels. That's it. Well, where's the vegetable? We don't need vegetables. We got chicken wings and bagels. And when it was done, he said, man, these were great. But chicken wings. Yes, sir.
Okay. Final answer. There you go. Chicken wings is what it is.
Sometime, if you and Amanda will come down, we'll do that.
Okay. Hey, it's a date. I'll come see the floors, see the new house.
That's right.
We'll have some chicken wings.
Love on the dogs.
Yeah. Mark alone said wings and bagels, huh? That's a new one, Uncle Don. But you get max points for chicken wings. So right out the gate, 1 for 1, max points. Number 2, it's Jobtown. It's time. You are en route and responding. You got to think of the scene from Backdraft where McCaffrey's jumping on the rig and the driver's slapping that tape into that cassette deck and they're playing that song. What song is Don Sapp playing while en route?
All right. Now, see, when you've been in the fire service as long as I have, you've got a story.
Okay.
In Macon-Bibb County, we never had radios in our trucks. At the time I was there, we were just past the Fred Flintstone feet on the ground doing right here.
Right on.
So we didn't have radios. So fast forward to 2001 when I left and went to Henry County. I'd been there 3 days and I was already riding the seat.
Well, oh, wow. Okay.
So the guy that actually was my driver at the time is now a captain in Johns Creek. And he said, okay, we're headed to a car fire. Okay, we're good. Crazy train.
Ozzy?
Crazy. And he jacked that thing. I was a nervous wreck. He turned that thing up and he's a headbanger anyway, an 80s hairband guy kind of anyway. So, but all the way there, crazy train, all the way to the call.
Love it. Love it. Max points for Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. And you can't go wrong. Yeah, I agree. Looking for where I'm at. You made me lose my place. Max points, 2 for 2. Number 3, whose boots, past, present, or future, would you like to spend 24 hours in?
I thought about that when I saw him, and I was going to see if I could cheat and have 2 people, but it wouldn't do this guy right for me to share the limelight with somebody else. But everybody that knows me knew I was friend with Mo Baxter. And he did a lot for me as far as just being Mo Baxter. He had the relationship that I like to have with my guys, with my family, with my kids, with my companies, with everybody. He was everything that I wanted to be,
Mm.
and he just knew how to blend with these people over here and then come back to the firefighters and blend with them as well. I think that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to be in with, just walk a mile in my shoes with, in his boots and just experience, because he was a great guy. I don't know if you knew him or not.
I did not. In fact, he's one of the few people that so many people said you need to have Mo on the scrap. You need to have Mo on the scrap. But he was going through a lot when I first met him,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and so it never worked out. And so
Yes. But Mo Baxter would be the one, because we just, the ideals that we have. I just would, I'd love to just pick his brain, be in his body, pick his brain, and just, just walk a mile in his shoes, because he was that guy.
awesome. No, great name. Max Points, man. And yeah, one of the people I've heard so much about. So there you go, 3 for 3, Max Points. Number 4, we went back to when you were a pro B. Now we're going to go to when you're retired. You got to imagine a time when you're retired. You're relaxing, sitting on the beach, enjoying whatever cocktail of choice or whatever beverage of choice. What do you want to hear through the grapevine that the people you used to work with that are still working, but how do they describe you to the new hires that are coming on duty?
I take pride in how I used to work. I didn't mind working. I wasn't afraid. People that knew me, and if they respond online right there, I wasn't afraid to work. I'm not afraid to work. I don't mind working. I came from a mom and a dad that taught me how to work, and there again in Henry County, we went and did an Axioms of Leadership class. And in that leadership class, they said, "What do you remember, Don? What do you remember about Don?" And it's funny you should ask that question, because I have an instance for it. And they said, "What do you remember about Don the most when he was here?" And they said, "That motor scooter could work. He didn't mind working day or night. He didn't mind working. He was a worker." That's all I want to be known as a worker.
Love it.
I'm a worker.
You said it earlier. You're a doer. You're a doer.
Doer, like we said a while ago, it's hard for a doer to accept anything from somebody else. But I'm a doer, and I don't mind doing.
Beautiful. Max Points, brother. Max Points on being a worker. And the final question, which has never changed, probably I don't plan on it ever changing. Heavy fire, searchable space. Would you rather be assigned to the nozzle or first in on the VES?
Well, let me. And I'm glad you gave us these questions before, because it gives me a chance to just sit and think back for the 2 departments that I worked for.
Sure.
I got to really do some good work in Macon. I enjoyed it. We didn't really per se had VES like they do now. But when I went to Henry, we were just getting into that. And I've got in my notes right here, VES, fast pace. It's work before the work. It's my kind of work before nozzle kind of work. You're both working. It's just you're both doing a different kind of work, but you're both working. Work before the work. VES.
Love it. Okay, VES, final answer?
VES.
Love it. And that makes it 5 for 5. Max Points, second time on the scrap to go, 5 for 5. Max Points, both. And that officially makes it 284 scraps in the books. Don, Uncle Don, thank you, first of all, for sharing your evening with me. Absolutely love it each and every time. If someone wants to get a hold of you, reach out to you, what is the best way to do so?
My phone number, if they want to copy it down, you can get me at Don Sapp. What did I just change it? Don Sapp 126 at gmail.com. Pretty simple. Don Sapp 126 at gmail.com.
Love it. Absolutely.
And then, of course, my phone number, if they want to get my phone number, I'll be glad to talk to anybody. Anybody that knows me, I don't mind taking the time to talk to somebody, because it may help somebody later on down the line.
I love it, brother. So there's a brand new thing we are doing, and it's called the Scrap Challenge.
Yep.
And I ask each guest if they will challenge the listeners. One challenge they can do between now. Well, in the next week, because the next scrap is actually tomorrow. It's a special, but not the point. In the next week, one thing that they can do in the next week, 1 week challenge from Don Sapp, the scrap challenge. What is your challenge to the scrap listeners?
They can do this tonight. I can challenge them tonight to do
Perfect.
it by tomorrow, by your scrap.
Okay.
I do it every morning after I do my devotional in the morning. I pick out 5 people that throughout the day I text them and tell them I love them. How are you doing? What's up? Do you need anything? Reach out to that one person. I hate the word reach out. I can't believe I just, I picture somebody reaching out, but contact somebody you hadn't contacted in a while and just tell them, hey, my deal is, I love you, right? And the reason I do that, just real quick, I had a guy that worked, provided for smoke divers. He provided our thermal imaging cameras, right? And we were finishing up logistics. He was cleaning them up. He was, his name was Jeff Whidbey. I don't know if you knew him or not, but anyway, he was cleaning the cameras up, getting ready, for the end of the class. And we were getting ready to leave. And I always called him Jeffrey. I said, Jeffrey. Yes, sir. I said, I love you, right? He said, yes, sir, I do. I know you love me. That was in November. In April, he passed away. Mm. If I hadn't have told him that I loved him, I'd have never got to tell him that. Take the time to call somebody, man. It's nothing. What does it take to shoot a text to Corley Moore? Say, hey, bud, I love you. Hope you're having a great day. Boom, done. I can't tell you how many times I've done that to other people, and I'm not taking the credit, but it's just, when it's the right. I do. I know when it's the right time for some reason, and they'll either call me or they'll say, "Man, you just don't know. That right there, I needed that at that point. You just don't know."
Yes. No, I've gotten them from you, brother.
Those listeners will tell you. I do it to those listeners that called in all the time. I do it.
Oh yeah, Mark Alone said that he does nothing better than getting a Don message just to say he's thinking about you and appreciates you.
That's it. But that's my challenge. Find somebody, preferably somebody. Well, I'll say this. I don't mean to be ugly. Somebody that you don't get along with.
Oh.
Find somebody that you don't get along with. Hey, man, I was just thinking about you. I hope everything's going good for you. You don't need to tell me you love him. You may not. But, hey, I hope everything's going good for you. Is there anything I can do for you? Let me know.
There's a twist on the challenge. Find somebody you don't like, don't get along with. I love it. There you go. Scrap challenge from Don Sapp. Make it happen. There's your challenge thrown out to you. And then last thing that I'll bother you with, which is I'm always trying to expand my network, always trying to grow the scrap and bringing in new, fresh perspectives of maybe people I don't know, or someone you just think should be on the scrap, or someone that hasn't been on in a while that you think should come back. Who do you think should be on the scrap?
Jay Hurley.
Jay Hurley. All right. I'm going to reach out to you to get the contact info.
Okay.
I'll get the story.
He's the one that told me about the legacy book. He's the chief in Bremen.
Bremen?
Bremen, Nice. Jason Painter works, but I don't know if you know Jason or not, but
Jason. Know the
name. Jason works with him, and Shane works real close with him as well.
Mark Alone just put a yes with like 8, 9, maybe 10 S's. So he seems to be pretty excited about that answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect. If Mark's excited. In fact, Mark's coming up. In fact, I can tell you this. Mark Alone coming on March 18th, right around St. Patty's Day. Mark Alone will be back on.
Good for him.
No doubt about it. I love talking to Mark.
He's all right.
Don, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Thank you so much for staying active, like semi-retired, like whatever. So, but yeah, absolutely.
Catch me next week. I'll be in Douglasville.
There you go. That's a good one. Facts for Hurley. Everybody's saying facts. That's a good one. He is a dude. They said, "God help us." Then a laughing face. So there you go. That's a rousing endorsement. I'll have to reach out. Don't let me drop the ball on that, Don. I'm counting on you.
I'll get you. Yeah, I will.
Housekeeping. Here we go. Go to patreon.com/thevigilantes. Become a vigilante. I'm telling you, if you're not, Amanda had some new patches made that say like-minded souls, and it says vigilantes, we are never alone. They're pretty killer. Absolutely killer. So if you're not a vigilante, I just have to ask you why not. If you listen to the scrap, I promise you're going to find like-minded souls who love to talk shop. They field questions, they support each other. The Discord is very active. There's accountability. They're trading books. it's just a phenomenal group. Go become a part of it. And the best part is you get to be a part of the scrap after party, which happens when the scrap is over. We get to go in there, and Don has agreed to come in and get roasted by the vigilantes. So
the thing about it is you get to do it.
You get to do it. That's the best part. That is the absolute best part. All right. Tomorrow night, it is a special doubleheader. I try not to do this that often, but I'll explain the circumstances for why it is occurring. Don Sapp was the scheduled guest for this weekly scrap, and then there's some special circumstances. It's a special announcement tomorrow. Go ahead.
You tell them why we did today?
Well, the numbers is always. I mean, we wanted really badly to get to. It is 126.
Today is 126.
126.
We set that back up a long time ago.
Yes, we set it up like a year ago.
Do it on 126. So I'm just a numbers person. That's all.
No, we try to do it every time. We've tried to put it on there. So.
Right.
120. We made 126 happen. I was very proud of that. But we did book this like a year ago. It was
we did.
Like my whole schedule was like empty, and then one name was in there, Don Sapp. All right, go be a vigilante. I'm done talking. PJ Norwood is tomorrow night. I'll explain why tomorrow night. There is a special announcement about surrounding that whole thing. And then next week, Mr. Jimmy Davis is coming on. I've been trying to get him on for a long time, so it's going to be exciting. All right, enough jabbering from me. Don, thank you once more for being on here. Audience, you are what makes the scrap magical. You guys tune in each week and you throw great questions to the guest, and I appreciate you so much. Without you and your questions and just tuning in and being the beautiful people that you are, the scrap would not exist. So I want to tell you each and every week, thank you so much for tuning in live. I love you all. Remember, mutts don't scrap. I hope the tones stay silent unless it is burning. Everybody, stay safe out there.